you have any injuries? No. Okay. Mentally? We all have a lot of mental injuries. I'm not asking. I'm not in shape. Okay, let me put this on. No, you're just going to move through the flow the best that you can. And let's put this speaker on. And do not disturb, so no one calls us. Do not disturb, and we're good to go. All right, start on your back in Supta Baddha Konasana. So I'll tell you what everything is. If you don't know the names of the poses, that's fine. We make do. Soles of the feet come together. The knees flop apart like a little butterfly. Yeah. Close this. Yeah. And if you can close your eyes, that's great. You can go back to sleep. Connect to your breath. Inhale through the nose to the back of the throat. Exhale through the nose to the back of the throat. Good. You're going to take your feet flat down to the ground, bend your knees in half, anchor the feet, reach the arms forward like a Pilates roll up straight forward towards me, lift through the back of the shoulders, draw the navel to the back of the spine rather than yanking the head, anchor the feet into the floor, and just drag yourself forward and hold. Keep the lift of the upper torso, lift the legs on an angle that works. Keep lifting from your deep within your core muscles. The legs can be up higher if necessary. Rebend the legs, take the feet flat to the floor, lift higher with your core muscles. Exhale the breath, let it go. So we'll do a bunch like this. Pull yourself up. Lift the legs on an angle. Keep the lift of the upper shoulders, draw the belly in, the lower back is pressing down. Lower the legs back down, lift higher. Exhale the breath, let it go. Pull yourself up. Connect with your breath. Lift your legs on an angle. Lower the legs back down, lift a little higher. Exhale the breath, let it go. Here we go. Pull yourself up. Lift your legs on an angle. Rebend the legs, lift higher. Exhale the breath, let it go. Pull yourself up. Lift the legs on an angle. Rebend them, take the feet flat to the floor. Lift higher. Exhale the breath, let it go. Slide the left leg forward, draw the right knee towards the chest and give it a little squeeze. Flex your left foot strong and keep the calf down. So the left side of the body is staying rooted and grounded to the floor and the right knee is just dragging towards the navel. This is a subtle way to stretch your hip. So it's not so aggressive. And then same thing, you're gonna reach your arms forward towards the front edge of the mat and just draw the shoulder blades up off the ground. Lift through your deep core muscles so you're not yanking your neck. And then float the left calf from an inch from the ground and hold. Keep the breath flowing. Lift the right leg straight up towards the sky like you're leaving a print in the ceiling or the sky. Keep drawing forward. Gather the hands behind the hamstrings so they come to a prayer if possible. Keep lifting. You can always bend your left leg too if you need more support and create a 90-degree angle. Lift a little higher. You got it, perfect. Grab behind the right thigh, relax the left calf, and let the leg fall into the right hands, the hands behind the right thigh. Yeah, so just giving yourself like a little hamstring release. Hug the right knee back in towards the chest, give it a squeeze, and then drop it over to the left and just stretch out this. This is stretching the piriformis. Keep the right side body down though, so you're not rolling all the way to the left. Roll up to center, relax the right leg, draw the left knee in, give it a good solid squeeze. Just start with the right calf down. It's good to just kind of reassess. Keep breathing, don't hold your breath. Good, then reach your arms forward towards the front edge of the mat, float the right calf if you want more. So it's optional, all these things are optional. You just do as little or as much as you want. Back of the shoulder blades lift, you're just scooping out the belly. It's isometric abdominal exercise. Keep lifting forward, reaching forward, and then float the left leg up. Flex both your feet really strong. There's a scissoring of your inner thighs, a drawing in of the deep belly muscles, and anchoring of the arms more forward. And then if you want to, see if you can gather the hands behind the hamstring in a prayer. So you begin to kind of isolate the outer the outer core muscles and feel the sides of the triceps grip in. Flex both feet real strong. Scoop out the belly more, reach forward a little bit more. Clasp the hands behind the left thigh and then just relax the right leg and let the left leg kind of fall into the hands, giving yourself a nice long hamstring release. Nothing too aggressive. Shoulders relaxed down the back. Hug the knee in towards the chest, give it a squeeze one more time, and then just drop it over to the right and give yourself a little twist. Hand could be on the outer part of the left thigh. Come up through center, hug both knees in towards the chest, and just rock and roll. Give yourself some energy. Come onto your hands and knees, tabletop position. I like to start with core because it kind of gives you a sense. I mean, your core is everything. It's connectivity up to the body. So the hands are directly underneath the shoulders. You always look at your hands and make sure the index fingers are just a tiny bit splayed out, because any direction with your hands indicates where your shoulders are going. So if your hands are in, your shoulders are going in. So that's a good cue. Curl the toes into the mat and then start to lift your hips up to a dog. And then take a second to this first down dog. Perfect. We're hybrid yoging today. Good. You can soften behind your knees as much as you need. And then there's movement of your shoulders. That looks great. Away from the center line of your body. So the cue would be move your shoulders away from your ears rather than feeling like you're dropping your weight down into your shoulders, which is a lot easier to do for a lot of us. Plug down your thumb, your index finger, your baby finger. And then I like to focus on spreading the toes, because when you spread the toes, you get this opportunity to really stretch the front sides of the legs, which is a hard area to target. If you're holding onto your head, obviously it's attached to the body. Well, sometimes it doesn't feel like it is, right? Just let the head go. I say to my PT person, this is like giving yourself natural traction. So just let your head go. And breathe your hips as high up off your shoulders as possible. And as I like to call it, lighten your load. And then here, roll forward to your first plank. So from down dog to plank, sometimes you have to walk it out because you want to stack your body appropriately, and everybody's bodies are different. Shoulders over elbows, elbows over wrists, little micro bend in your elbows so you're not going into the joint. The weight is forward onto your tippy toes. And then you focus on one edge, looking at the front edge of the mat. That's a good dristy. Hold. If it's too much, you drop your knees and you give yourself some support, because nobody cares, right? You do what you need to make the practice work. Modifications are there for everybody. Engage the center of the body, hug into that center line, and feel the shoulders moving apart. Keep the breath flowing. Keep your arms straight, hips up and back to a down dog. So now your hands and feet have found their natural spot more likely, right? So it's less adjusting. Roll forward plank, all the way forward like an ocean wave. Drop your knees, everybody, down to the ground. Actually uncurl the toes, and from the tops of the knees to the shins, anchor through the tops of the feet. Perfect. You want to slide your weight a little forward, look forward with your eyes, and just bend your elbows a little bit, maybe halfway at most. It could be a micro bend too. Keep your neck neutral, and then re-straighten your arms and pause. So you're in a supported plank. Those look good. Bend your elbows again to a supported push-up. So as little as you want or as much as you want, but no more than halfway. Re-straighten your arms to supported plank. Keep the knees down. Again, halfway at most. It can be a micro push-up. Re-straighten your arms to supported plank. 2 more. Halfway down to a supported push-up that works for you. Re-straighten your arms, supported plank. 1 more. Halfway at most. Re-straighten your arms, supported plank. Lift the knees to a plank position, and then hips up and back to a down dog. Look to the top of the mat. Take 2 big steps to get there. When you arrive, long spine on the inhale. If the hands don't make it, you just slide them to the front of the shins and bend your knees a little. Look forward with your eyes, and then exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Good. Drag it to prayer at heart. Drop your arms. Okie dokie. Arm slide straight up towards the sky. We look up. Dive over bent knees, forward fold, let the head go. Come to the fingertips to prepare. So that means just create some space, plant your palms, take 2 big steps to get you back to plank. So when you get to plank, you reassess. Yeah. Halfway at most to a push-up chaturanga, or you drop your knees and you create that modified version again. If this works for you, this is good. Up dog slides you through your body, point your toes, activate through your hands and the tops of the feet, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a full breath out. Some more, less thinking and more just feeling our way through the practice, which is super hard for a lot of us. A lot of us are in our head. Look where you want to go. Step or float to the top. Yeah, long spine to prepare. Fold over your legs. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag the hands to prayer at heart, drop your arms. So just again, nice clean movement. Arms reach up, look up a little. Dive over bent knees, let the weight carry you forward. Long spine to set you up. Long spine, yep. Plant your palms. 2 big steps to get you back to a plank. Then decide, chaturanga or not, that's fine. Upward facing, drag yourself through, hips up and back, downward facing. It's like getting the cobwebs out. Let the head go, let the breath flow. Nowhere else we gotta be. Look where you wanna go, step or float to the top. I don't really hop anymore because I'm afraid I'm gonna like stop, drop, and roll. Long spine, fold in half, root to rise, come all the way up. Hands to prayer. The days of pretty yoga are over. Arms drop. Yeah, now it's just survival. Arms reach up. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Let the head, long spine. On the inhale, step to plank. Then to a chaturanga. Up dog pulls you through. Nice. Hips up and back, downward facing. Look to the top, 2 big steps or a light float, depending on you. Long spine to prepare you. Exhale to fold you. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag it to prayer at heart, drop your arms. One more, arms reach up. Dive again over bent knees, forward fold, let the head go. Come to the fingertips, long spine. You can step or float. Plank to a chaturanga. Upward facing, point and activate the tops of the feet. Hips up and back, downward facing. So here we are, gonna roll forward to plank. Lift the right foot an inch and point your toes, I know. Take the right knee towards the right tricep, just in the general direction. So go right knee, right tricep, you got it. And then look forward a little. So less is more. You don't feel like you're yanking your leg over there. It's a subtle movement. Arms are straight up and down, and then hug the knee straight in, like you did on your back. Step the right foot smack in between your hands. Turn your back foot on a strong angle. I'm gonna give you this block, Janessa, in a second. Place the block to the instep of the foot and place your right hand down. And you're gonna set up for a B variation of extended side angle. Yeah, so right from the ground up we worked. Use the back of the right tricep to press against the inner part of your right leg. And then if you can, slide your left arm straight up towards the sky, if that feels good in your body. Yeah, perfect. Grip your right hip in. Back left foot's on an angle. You almost feel like you're leaning back a little bit because you want to open up your chest so you can breathe. There's definitely a level of humidity out here. Yeah, I'm already sweating. Yes, it's pretty awesome actually. Anchor that back foot stronger. Now your left arm, you could decide how you feel and what you need. Your hand can simply just come to your hip and you can pause here, or you can wrap it around and give yourself a little half bind. It is early in the practice, but it feels nice to open up the throat and the chest. And then what I like to do is lighten the load of my right hand. So I'm not breaking up the wrist. I come onto my fingertips. And then that really creates more strength for the lower half of the body. And then you just find stillness. Try not to go into your head. No angry thoughts. If you raveled your arm into some version, your left arm, unravel it up straight up towards the sky. And then use the strength of your back leg and your back arm to come up to warrior two. So warrior two is going to pull up towards center. You're facing towards the pool. Your arms are open nice and wide. I actually like to have my thumbs up. Yeah. And my palms open. So I could really spread my torso and use both arms and both legs. And then lengthen your tailbone straight down. And then close your eyes here for a few breaths and just allow yourself to be present. But the truth is, you don't really have to be present all the time in the practice. Just be here. Just be here. That is the practice. Just use your breath and just feel it moving through your body. And when the thoughts creep in, just use the breath to kind of push them out. Find stillness, find ease. A little longer. Straighten the right leg on track, take your hands to your hips and just pivot your right toes. So you're gonna face towards the way that you're going. Hands to your hips, actually clasp your hands behind your back. Inhale your breath, bend behind your knees a little bit and then fold. Now, when you come down the center for this wide straddle, if the crown of the head immediately touches the ground, that's an indication that you need a smaller step. I think most of us are just fine. Yeah. Yes. And breathe your hips up. And anytime you take a forward bend, the recommendation is to have bent knees. Let the hands, if they're clasped, drop a little bit more to the base of the spine, the base of the head, and the weight transfers more forward into the balls of your feet. Use the outer blades of your feet to press down, lift up on the inner arches, ground through the quadriceps, come halfway up, pause. Slide your clasped hands to your hips, just separate them, come the rest of the way up. From the right hip, pivot your right foot forward, just your right foot, keep your back foot the way it is. Open up your arms really wide across the front side of the body. And then right here, we're gonna go to an early triangle. Right hand to right shin and left arm extends up. If you need a block, the block goes to the outside, but most of us do pretty well with the hand to the shin. Grip the right hip in super strong and use your obliques, your side body, to keep you lifted and supported. The neck is neutral, and if you can, you look up, but that doesn't always work for everybody. So you find the posture, then we hold the posture, because if we're only here for a moment, nothing happens. Stillness, breath, feeling. Looks great. Look down, circle both hands to frame your right foot. Your left heel pops up, walk the right foot to the right. You're welcome to use a block on the instep of the foot into an easy twist. Right arm extends up. Yeah, so go instep of the foot and come to a tented hand if that feels good. Yeah, or either your palm can be flush. Right arm extends straight up, or your hand can always be on the flat part of your back if you got something going on. Grip the right hip in strong, activate your back leg, because it's like plank, and twist open. Look to the floor, remove the block to the side. You're gonna tense your left fingertips, drop your left knee and pivot your left leg. And you're gonna come into a version of side plank that's modified and it looks like this, yes. So your left knee has to be underneath you, your right leg is up hip height and you're stacking your two arms. Use the side of your body in the space there to lift, that's great. Flex your right toes like you're in half moon and look up. Stay with it. Okay, let's try something. Keep the lift of the right leg, look down and bring your right hand to the floor and come to a tabletop position with your right leg lifted. Yeah, perfect, we got it. So the right leg is lifted, hip height and tabletop. Curl your left toes under and press up to a three-legged down dog. So now you're in a three-legged down dog with your right leg lifted. So if you get lost, you just join the party when you can. That's it. If you get lost, you put in GPS. Shoulder blades pull apart. Inner right thigh lifts and there's a strong flex of your right foot. Now you're gonna look forward with your eyes and land your right foot all the way forward and through for a low lunge. Turn your back foot strong on an angle, grip your right foot in, right hip in, and come up warrior one. This looks great. Left ribs turn forward so your whole body is facing towards the front skinny edge of the mat. And if you want, your hands can gather into a prayer, kind of up and forward, if that feels good. Outer blade of your back foot presses strong. Take a couple cycles of breath and just feel. Bend deeper into your front thigh. Take it to the floor through a vinyasa. Just move through a plank to a chaturanga. If that feels good, you can skip them too. Up dog, hips up and back, down dog. Exhale all the breath out. Roll forward to plank. Now remembering is the challenge. Lift the left foot, point the toes. Left knee, left tricep. Do it slow and try not to yank the leg in that out of the alignment. Just keep it aligned and do less if it's too much. Hug the left knee straight in. Give it a good squeeze to the center line of the body. Keep looking forward. Arms are straight up and down. Land your left foot smack in between your hands. Turn your back foot on a strong angle. Use your block. Place it to the instep of your foot. Palm's going to go flat. You kind of almost lean into the inside of your thigh, and then the right arm's going to open from the ground up. Yeah. Grip your left hip in strong. Look up with your eyes. Open up your collarbone, your throat, your chest. Turn your bottom ribs. Now, this could feel sufficient to you, so you stay. If you want to add in, right hand to right hip to start, then you wrap your arm around into a half bind. Keep gripping your left hip. Maybe you want to get lighter in your bottom hand. It's up to you. Yes. Where you look helps you out a lot. So if you look over your right shoulder, look up a little, that's going to help you turn into the pose. Just be mindful that the left hip doesn't pop out. Grip it underneath you. Press strong through your right leg. Couple more, breathe, and just allow the body to be. Unravel your right arm straight up. Do that much first. Anchor through the right leg and the right arm, and then pull up warrior two. So you have to use your muscles and come on up. Flip the palms to face sideways, the thumbs up, so you can use the strength of both your arms. Side body's long. Get the inner left thigh to rotate open rather than the knee turning in. You want it to rotate open, external rotation. Close your eyes and just be here for a few. Less struggle. Focusing on the breath. Get a little heavier in your legs. Let your tailbone drop. Straighten the left leg. Take the hands to the hips. Pivot the left toes in. Clasp the hands opposite grip if you could remember. Bend behind the knees. Inhale the chest and the collarbone open. Exhale, come down the center and fold one more time. So if this one you get here and you're like, okay, my head is definitely closer, you just have to scoot your feet in a little closer together. Breathe your hips up and fold your body down in half. Keep that weight forward. Slide your clasp hands to your hips. Come halfway up, pause. Come the rest of the way up. Good. Before you open up your arms, just turn from your left hip. Your left foot turns out. Yes. So your foot is completely forward. Your back leg stays. Open up your arms and set up here for triangle. I like a micro bend behind my left knee, and then the right arm slides up. Side body's nice and open, and then you look up if you can. Anchor strong through your inner and outer thighs. Feel your feet pressing firm into the mat. Find the space with your breath. Good. Look to the floor, circle the hands down, peel your right heel up off the ground. Now you're going to set up for an easy twist. So the right hand stays down. I like using a block. Yep, you're good. Yep, your left leg. Yep. I just pivoted so that way you could see me. And my back wasn't to you. Right. Grip your left hip in strong. Yeah, just make sure your right wrist stays forward so the shoulder doesn't go into internal rotation. Back leg strong. Look to the floor. Move the block out of the way. Tent the right fingertips. Yes. Drop the right knee and pivot the right foot out on an angle. And then let your left leg slide up towards the sky. Going right knee down, right knee down. Nope, right, pivot towards the pool. That's it. And then it's like half moon, but try tenting your right fingertips and get out of the shoulder completely. And then that's going to kind of trigger your obliques. There you go. Perfect. And then look up if you can. Awesome. So I like this actually better than a regular side plank because it's really less about the joint and more about the muscular structure of the pose. Lift a little higher. Look down, place both hands down. Keep the lift of the left leg. Don't let it go yet. So you're in a plank with your left leg lifted, hip height. Curl the right toes into the mat and then lift your hips to a three-legged down dog with your left leg up towards the sky. Don't open your hips here. Plug down evenly through both your hands so your shoulders are forward. Lift from your inner left thigh. Breathe the right foot down more as your left thigh lifts up. Then look forward. Land your left foot all the way forward and through. Turn your back foot on a strong angle and then come up, warrior one. Yeah, a little different today. Bring the hands to a prayer over the top of the head if that feels good. If it doesn't, you just take it regular. It's up to you. Right ribs pivot forward a little, anchoring of the back right foot, and then you want to get heavy into your front left thigh. Alignment looks awesome. And sometimes this is where you feel impatient. That's part of the moving meditation. Hands to the floor, step through a vinyasa, plank position to a chaturanga, upward facing. You can always omit any of these things. Hips up and back, downward facing. Deep breath in, full breath out. All right, look to the top of the mat, step or hop your feet there. Long spine weight is forward. Exhale, fold. The famous chair pose. Here we go, sit deep. Stick the butt all the way back, weights in your heels. You got it. So your arms, ideally you want them shoulder width distance, but that doesn't work for everyone. So you can have them out wider. You could always cactus the arms. Your hands can always be on your hips. There's so many alternatives. Make the posture work. Get heavy in your legs. Press up to stand up. Drag it to prayer at heart. Drop your arms. Here we go. Chair, top of the mat. Sit deep. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Let your head go. Come to the fingertips, prepare you. Step or float through a vinyasa. You can also just go to a dog and hold. When you get to your down dog, land your right foot forward. Turn your back foot strong. Come on up, warrior one. Hands come down to a plank. Push up or not, doesn't matter. Up dog, hips up and back, down dog. Left foot forward, back foot turns, warrior one. Now we're just moving and grooving. Back down we go, plank position. Chaturanga, upward facing. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a full breath out. Look to the top, step or float to get there. Long spine, keep that weight forward. Exhale, fold. Sit again into chair. Weight moves into your heels. Look up or look forward. Press up to stand. Drag it to prayer at heart. Drop your arms. Keep going just like this. I know, they're fun. Drop into chair. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Let your head go. Come to the fingertips, prepare. Step or float through your vinyasa. Perfect. Upward facing dog's a new breath. Hips up and back, downward facing. Land your right foot forward. Turn your back foot strong, warrior one. So it's not too fast, it's not too slow. It's just right for you. Hands come down to a plank. Chaturanga. Up dog, anchor. Hips up and back, down dog. Left foot lands, back foot turns, warrior one. You want to grip your left hip in. Hands come back down to a plank. Chaturanga. Upward facing. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Full breath out. We'll do one more because there's so much fun. Look where you want to go. Step or float to the top. Long spine, keep that weight forward. Exhale, fold. Sit again into a chair. You want to really keep the weight in your heels. That's the trick with chair. And then get strong through your legs and your arms. Press up to stand. Drag it to prayer. Drop your arms. Last one. Chair pose. Dive over, bent knees, forward fold, let the head go. Long spine, you line your fingertips up with your toes. Step, step to plank. Then bend into chaturanga. Upward facing, drags you through. Hips up and back, down dog. Right foot lands, back foot turns, warrior one. Back down we go through a vinyasa, or you just simply hold a dog. There's nothing wrong with that. Left foot lands, back foot turns, warrior one. I'm taking down the shrubs. Hands come down, plank position, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, point your toes. Hips up and back, down dog. Land your right foot forward, turn your back foot strong, warrior one. Come on up. We'll add on. Drop your arms down. Clasp your hands like we did before. Now, before we go, you can have your elbows bent as much as you need to make this feel good for you. If you're more comfortable with straight arms, that is fine, okay? You want your whole torso facing the front edge of the mat. Get heavy in your front thigh, back leg strong. Humble warrior, use you pivot forward. Your stomach can rest on your thigh, or you can get in there, but you want your hips to stay squared towards the front edge of the mat and not open into warrior two. So it's like a sweet spot for everybody. That's great, Janessa. Yes, grip your right hip in strong though. Let the head go if possible. Connect to the back leg. The muscles around your back left quadricep, squeeze them super tight. Yeah. Good. Keep the shape of the lower half of the body. Just come up like 2 inches off the top of the right thigh. So you're just hovering. Slide your left hand to your hip, left hand to hip. So you have to unclasp your hands and then reach your right arm forward like we're shaking hands. It's like the old days. Yeah. Reach for a block, stay low to the ground. We're moving into half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. I like my block up high off to the edge of the right toe. You have to grip your right hip in strong. Balance can get a little tricky. And then you're opening your hips up. Yes. Left arm can extend up. Perfect. Lift from your inner thigh. It's like what we did before in that side plank. We were practicing for this. You got it. And if the arm up kind of makes the pose a little screwy for you, just have your hand on your hip. That's totally fine. Grip your right hip in strong. You can fall out as many times as you need to because it's just yoga. As I always say, we're not performing surgery, thank gosh. Turn the bottom ribs and you just work it through here. You work it out. Whatever it is that you got, you work it out. Stay a little longer. Find ease in the imperfect movement of it. Yes. Because it's going to move. It's never going to be completely steady. Look to the floor. Left hand comes down. Square your hips. Pause. Line your feet up. That's going to require you to kind of step your right foot to the center and sit into your chair pose. Our most favorite posture ever. Drag your hands to a prayer at heart. Inhale that breath. Hook the elbow and turn to the right. So this is one that I've played with for the past couple months. If you've got an injury going on, you can always air hook. If lower back, upper shoulders, neck are ever sensitive, give yourself some room to grow. Less of a twist if you need. If you're getting in there, just really make sure, regardless of how deep you are, that your two knees are lined up side by side. The left knee likes to sneak up on you. Twist through your upper ribs. Your spine never moves, it stays straight. Stay strong in your legs. Chair. Float your right foot from the ground and press up to stand. Just draw your right knee towards your navel. Pause here. I don't know if you guys got the playlist going, but it's a good one. So if you're not listening, my Zoomers aren't listening, you should definitely listen later. So from here, what I want you to do today, two options. Grab the outside of your right thigh with your left hand or the outside of your foot for dancing Shiva. You can extend the leg forward, the right arm can reach back. So the modified version of this is to have the knee bent and the right arm back, which is just as challenging. And look to the right or maybe look back a little. Flex the foot strong so you're using your core muscles. Good. And make sure your weight is even so you're standing up nice and tall. Yeah. Breathe your chest open more. Pull around to center, arms up, leg up. Everyone bend your right leg. So you're going to lift deep into your core muscles. Your arms are straight up. Giant step back, do your best, warrior one. Warrior one. And you may need to fix it a little, it's okay. Bigger step, wider step, kind of wiggle into it. Drop your arms. Welcome to the left side. Interlace your hands, opposite grip. Yeah. Inhale your breath, lift your heart and your chest. Make sure your right side body is moving forward. Come forward, humble. So just make sure that you're gripping your left hip in strong and the entire right side of your body is moving to the front edge of your mat. And then you take the pose as deep as you need for today. Maybe your head can drop. Contract the muscles around your right quadriceps, super strong. And just breathe. So as we tire in this pose, the left hip pops out. So grip it underneath you. 2 more breaths. So pop your chest up like 2 inches from your left thigh so you're hovering. Right, take your right hand to your hip and slide your left arm forward. Just do this much first. So the anchoring forward, then you're gonna reach for this block. Sometimes it's not so graceful. It's a little off to the left a little and about 6 to 8 inches forward. And then you'll pop up here into half moon, the best that you can. So this side is maybe a little bit more challenged. Your right hand can stay on your hip. Your left foot ideally must stay forward. And you wanna grip your hip in strong. And then start to open up your chest and your throat and look up. So little movements, quick movements generally fool us. If the right arm can go up, that's great. Stack the 2 shoulders. Maybe get lighter in your bottom hand. Lift from the side ribs. If you fall, you come back. Hug your left hip in a little stronger. Stay with it. Look to the floor, right hand down. Excellent work. Square your hips. Slide your feet together at the center. Yeah, and then sit into your chair. Drag your hands to prayer. This is where we pray for ourselves. Inhale the breath. Hook the elbow and twist to the left. So you're going to go towards the pool. That's it. When I first started teaching 20 years ago, that was my hardest part about learning to teach, was left to rights. I was constantly confused because you're looking at people and it's always the opposite. Watch the right knee that it doesn't slide past your left. Remind yourself that your spine is not twisting, you're twisting within your ribs. That's where the movement is. And the weight is pretty heavy in your heels. Keep the breath consistent. Strong in your legs, pull yourself around to chair, pause. Float your left foot up, come up to stand and just grab below the kneecap for a second and just get your balance. So it's better to set up the pose and just fly into it and decide what you're gonna do. If you're just gonna stay with the bent leg, that's cool. Flex the foot and keep it in line with your hip. Take your right hand to the outside of your left thigh and then reach your left arm back. So your left arm will go back and you'll start to look right, look towards the left, sorry. Perfect. Turn the palm towards the pool with the thumb up. Now your shoulder's in good rotation. If you're extending your leg straight forward, you're reaching for the outer blade of your foot. Just make sure you're not coming forward. You're upright regardless of how deep you are. Contract your right quadricep strong. Twist open. It's okay. You try again. It's a good time to try again. Keep the lift of the leg wherever you are. Bend it in half and bring your arms up. Just pause here. The left leg is lifted, standing up on the right leg. The arms are reaching towards the sky. Giant step back, warrior one. Yeah, do warrior one for a sec. Bend deep into your right leg. Take a second to establish the warrior one. Maybe it needs to be long enough, deep enough. Drag your hands to prayer. Inhale your breath, lean out, hook the elbow and twist. Now you may need to let your heel pop up in more of a crescent lunge. Some people like to experiment with keeping the back foot in a warrior one foot. So just giving you that option today. I personally like it with the heel lifted, but I'm not everybody. So grip your right hip in, get in there and twist open. You got to lean back a little in this pose. The crown of the head ideally lines up with the back heel. And to take the round out of the back, yeah, try to look sideways or look up. You got it. Strong back leg. Stay with it right here. Nice, Nancy. Breathe that heart, that chest open. Look up towards the sky. Twist a little deeper. Look down, place both hands to the floor, pause, okay? Drop your back knee on an angle. Keep the toes curled into the mat. So yes, you kind of have to slide your left knee back a little so the knee doesn't jam into the ground. Right knee stays exactly where it is. Good, so from here, you're gonna walk your right hand underneath. So it's gonna look like this. This may be as much as you can do. I'm feeling quite a bit here. Right, if you will now engage your back leg, this is great. Good. My mom's probably able to do the next part. She's going to come up high and lift her heel on the ball of the foot. And then from here, your arms are going to be straight up and down. And if you can extend your right leg, Jody, you could probably do this, out to the right corner, the right leg will lift. I'm not going there. There's no way in hell I'll need a crane to get me out. But the right leg will straighten. You'll press strong into your arms. And then maybe some of you are strong enough that your back leg will float up. I'm just staying here. The back knee can stay down. I'm getting a lovely hip opener. Lower the right foot if you lifted it. Lower the left foot if you lifted it. Good. Walk the hands to the center. Straighten out your right leg. So your hands are on the inside for a second. Yep. So it's kind of like a humble, your back leg is super strong. I want you to scoop out your belly. Let your head go. So you're high on the ball of the back foot, you're straightening out your right leg, your hands are pressing firm into the mat or the blocks, you're scooping out your belly and you're gripping your right hip in. Split the right hand around the foot, scoot your back foot in enough, take your hands to your hips and come all the way up. One more pose on this side, okay? We're just gonna take a twisting triangle. Right hand on your hip, left arm extends up, grow through the back side of the body, come halfway down, use your right hand to encourage the right hip to move back, then reach for a block, place it to the instep, any level, I like it high. Right hand slides to the flat part of the back. This gives you information that you're aligned. Anchor through the legs, hips back, and then right arm will extend up. Yeah, and setup is everything. You got it. Zooming strong over there. And then come to your breath and just breathe and try to enjoy the posture if possible. One more big twist. Look down, place both hands to the floor, step through a vinyasa or go to a dog and just be patient and hold. Once we get to our down dog, just to be consistent today, I'm all about consistency. Step your left foot forward, turn your back foot strong, warrior one on the left side. We can adjust from here. Arms come up. Drag your hands to a prayer at heart. Inhale your breath, lean out in front of you, hook the elbow and twist. Yeah, and then maybe the right heel has to pop up. That's fine. So it's like you can start with the back foot in a warrior one, and you can carry on to a crescent. Then lean that torso back. Left shoulder blade has to kind of draw back. Look up, scissor the hips together, twist open. Get in there, you got it. 3 more breaths, not what you want to hear, I know. Look to the floor, take both hands down, pause. Drop your back knee on an angle, keep the toes curled into the mat. Yeah, I find it a little easier, it activates the hamstring. Good, so you're gonna take your left hand and kind of wrap it under. So the palms go flat like they're in a down dog, but your knee is kind of wrapped underneath your shoulder. Perfect. Stay with this. This is a good place to be. This is opening up your hip flexors. If you want to add on, you can begin to activate your back leg as an option. The kneecap can lift. You can just stay with the knee down. Press really strong through your arms, your hands firm, your belly draws in. Then if you want to try and move on, start to lift your left heel up off the ground. This may be as far as you go today. Keep your drishti forward. If you can begin to lift the toes up, that's great. Straighten the left leg out on an angle to the left corner edge of your mat. And then maybe float the back leg up if you're even able to do that. You got it, step by step, you just do what you can, that's fine. If your back leg lifted, lower it. If your front foot lifted, lower it. Lower the heel. Drop the back knee for a second. Unravel the hands to the instep of the leg, okay? So now that your hands are firm on the instep of the leg, activate your back leg and straighten both legs. Fold. So your hands is like a humble warrior, kind of, with straight legs. You're high on the ball of your back right toes. You're scooping out your belly and turning your torso down towards the mat. Let the head go. Walk the left hand to the outside of the left foot. Step your back right foot in enough that you have about a 3-foot distance. Take your hands to your hips, pull yourself up. Last standing pose, left hand on your hip, thank gosh, right arm up. Inhale your breath, we're sweating. We are very wet here. Inhale your breath, come halfway down, come the rest of the way down. It's a good amount of humidity because I don't feel hot. I'm just sweating.
I never have said this, but
this is great.
Which is good.
Yeah. Hips move back, spine moves forward. Perfect. Anchor your back leg and then twist open so the left arm extends up. Perfect. Good adjustment. So you get to the posture and then you're like, okay, now what? Well, be in the pose and breathe in the pose. Allow your body the opportunity to just explore. A couple more, because it's so good for you, they say, in quotes. Look down, hands to the floor, step to a plank and pause. Plank position. Drop to your forearms, forearm plank. Yeah. Why not? Lead with your chest and your heart. You can always drop your knees. Your drishti to the front edge in the mat. This is a spot where if you felt comfortable, you go up into an inversion. I'm just gonna hold here. For most of you, Janessa, bring your elbows in closer. So an inversion, you can come up into a forearm stand, a handstand, a headstand, or you can just hold here 8 more breaths. Lengthen your tailbone. 8 more breaths, or you can flop to the floor. Yeah, or you could be in a dolphin pose too. So that's down dog on your forearms. 5 more breaths. The down dog on your forearms is a great option. Last little bit, stay with it. Child's pose with your knees together and your arms back. Your forehead touches the ground unless you're wearing a hat like me, my brim's in the way. Good. Pull yourself up, flop onto your butts. Yeah, and lay down. So we're coming full circle here. If you have your block and you know you like supported bridge, take it with you. So when you lay down and you set up for bridge, we're going to do 2 or 3 of these. So a good way to set up is your fingertips skim the backs of your heels. This is when you know your feet are in the right positioning and they're hips width. And then you lift your tailbone up. We've done a bunch of like clasping the hands. So you can clasp the hands and kind of shimmy your shoulders under. Anchor through your feet, lift through your thighs, and breathe. If you prefer sliding a block underneath your lower back, any direction, or you could take your first one like this. Exhale the breath, lower down. Yeah, breath in. We'll do one more, breath out. So this one I'm gonna lift up, and if you wanna go into a full wheel, you can. That's where you flip your fingers over, bring your chin to your chest, and you pop all the way up. I'm gonna demonstrate supported bridge with the legs up. So I'm gonna slide a block underneath the lower back. The feet are moving forward. The block's comfortable enough that it's underneath my lower back, giving me the support. I'm creating the back bend through the upper shoulders. And then from here, I'm gonna lift one leg up towards the sky and the other leg up towards the sky. With my arms, I'm gonna clasp my hands around the block to create the back bend and hold here. If you're up in a full wheel, just steer your feet forward. Lift from your inner thighs. Breathe your whole body open wherever you are. If the legs are lifted, bend them in half, take the feet flat down. Lift the hips enough that you can move any object out and lower yourself down. Hug your knees to your chest, give them a big squeeze. Good. Reach for the outer blades of your feet. Happy baby. Pull the knees down around your rib cage. Lengthen the lower spine. Feel the broadening of the upper shoulders. Squeeze the knees in towards the chest. Tight squeeze. Rock up to seat. Good. Spin around into a half pigeon. To finish the practice, I want to do a hip opener. And it's really nice to finish this way. So I like to set up from a down dog. Sometimes when I slide into it like half-ass, I end up not feeling good. So go to a dog for a sec and then slide your right knee forward into half pigeon. I mean, we're doing it. You might as well do it right. And then you fold. If something doesn't feel good, you let me know. And then to fold down into the pose. Let yourself just relax. Downward facing dog. Just stay with it and slide your left leg forward. Just a minute on each side. Get yourself in. Perfect. And then fold. You got it. You always want to check in that the top of your right foot is on the ground and the top of your right thigh. And then you know you're good. Yeah. Use the strength of your body, start to come up, lean onto the left side, swing your right leg forward, take your block the long direction and we'll make a 5-pointed star. So slide your feet onto the block. Yeah, out in front of you. Inhale your breath, lift your chest. Exhale, use your elbows to press your thighs open. So this is a good way to stretch the inner and outer hips. The feet stay together and then you come forward as much as you can. So that's going to be, you know, very personal, how far you can get down. Everybody's got a different range of movement. Good. Pull your torso up. Remove your feet from the block. Slide yourself into Shavasana. I mean, this is the reason you probably come to class. So you could take this rest, which is a gift. So you slide into Shavasana, complete rest. Yeah. Turn the palms open. Exhale all the breath and just let your body, but more importantly, your mind just shut off. Next minute or two, just be still. Take a deep breath in. Take a full deep breath out. Arms reach up over the top of the head, a full stretch from fingertips to toes. You can always stay longer too. Hug your knees to your chest, give them a big squeeze in. And with your eyes closed, just try and rock up to sit. And sit up nice and tall for a second. Good. I mean, I'm biased. I thought that was a great practice. You guys rocked it. Hands to prayer. Always have gratitude at the end of your practice, not just being able to physically do it, but more importantly, mentally carving out this time, because it really truly is a gift. Bow your head with that gratitude. Bottle it up. Keep it close to you. Lift your head, open your eyes. Namaste. That was fun. That was super fun. Thanks for joining me.